anything I suppose. She knows, and I know she knows, and I know she knows.
So the first thing you want to do is actually to put your project settings and make sure everything is set up for optimization. Now, I'm going to leave this on 1920 by 180p, but you can use a less resolution like 480p for a better performance, and then switch back when you're about to export. I'm going to leave my playback frame rate at 24 frames per second because I find it setting for flow edits. But my clip, your clip has to be at least 60 fps because when you get very slow motion, those frames are going to save your life. So the next thing you want to scroll down to optimize media and render patch. I'm going to use my DNHRLB for my proxy media format, and also for my render patch, I'm going to use my DNHRLB. I want to create a fusion composition over the area I want to cover with my video. So I'll go to effects. Mine, I have them my favorite. I'm going to drag in my fusion composition and I'll stretch it along the area of that video that my video is going to be in. And I'm going to go into Fusion. Now in Fusion, I'm going to close this up to make it just one viewer. I'm going to open my media pool and I'm going to bring my clip, close the media pool, and connect my clip to the output. Now, if you want to know how loads work in Davinci Resolve, I'm going to make a dedicated video for that, but this is not a loads tutorial. So I'm expecting you already have background knowledge on loads. So the next thing you want to do, you want to add two nodes. One is the optical flow, and the other is the time stretcher. Now, what this does, your time stretcher helps you to time remap, while your optical flow helps you blend your frames. So if it's like super slow motion, each frame is not going to be obviously separated or obviously different from the other because it's going to blend the motion together. So to use the optical flow in the time stretcher, we go to the inspector and I'm going to click on flow. I'm going to click on clamp edges, backward previous and backward next. That way our optical flow will be having effect in our time stretcher. So when we put a time stretcher, the frame which we are on the timeline automatically gives us a keyframe of 0, which is the beginning of your clip. So the first frame of your fusion clip will be the beginning of your clip. Now, if you were on somewhere random on the timeline, the first frame of your clip would be in that frame where you were when you added the time stretcher. So you can just go back and set, put from 0 to 0. Now we want to go back to our edit page. I want to mark out our bits where we're going to have this sniper shots. So to do that in Davinci Resolve, I have it on my MP for mark. I'm just going to go to the video and click on.
She knows, and I know she knows, and I know she knows.
So after marking our bits, we can go back into Fusion. We'll go to the next clip, to the next marker rather, and we'll go back into Fusion. Now I'm going to drag this wheel to where our first shot is. Right there. Exactly where we should take the shot. Right there. That looks okay. And something you need to know is that when you're using time stretcher, your value has to be a whole number. So it can't just be a decimal. If it's a decimal, you're going to have like partial frames. So just fix that by rounding up to the nearest whole number, which is 41 right now. So you can go back to the edit page, go to the next marker, X to go to Fusion or whatever key you have assigned. I'm going to scroll this wheel to, of course, to the next queue. Right there where you took the shot. And then we're going to round it up to the nearest whole number, which is 218. And now we're going to repeat the same process. After this last shot, you can actually go anywhere to the end. Then take to the end. And I'm going to just scroll this just a bit after the kill. Maybe like around here. So you're not going to just stop here. You're going to continue with slow motion on this place. So after doing that, the next thing you want to do is your in-between, something I call your in-between. Because now it's synced up, but it's just going to be kill after kill after kill. There's nowhere in between where it's going to like prepare for the next shot. It's going to make sense very soon. So for my in between, I'm going to also mark my beats so that it's going to make sense, because if I just put it anywhere in the randomly view, it's not going to like flow with the actual beat. So I'm just going to disable this so that I can have a better playback, and I'm going to mark those parts.
We're going to play no. She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Now, I marked a lot, yes, but I'm not going to use everything. I just put markers on where the beat could be, so that in case any part of the video does not work out well, if it does not look good, I can just switch that keyframe to a part of the video which actually looks good. So let's go in and down in between. So for the first cue, I will have this in between frame right here, and the next cue. And this actually looks really good for an in between frame, I'll never lie. This is the next cue right here. I think this is what we should use. So let me go X. We're already on that frame. And I'm going to drag it backwards a bit. Drag it backwards a bit. Because I want to like kind of like have a slow motion in this part before it zooms in. Then it zooms in. But I feel like this place is like too fast. It's like way too fast, because we're not seeing the enemy. So if it just comes here and it gets the kill, it's going to be like he just killed someone out of thin air. So what I will do, I'll push this keyframe to this part, because both of them are in between. I'll push this keyframe to this part, and this part will be when he has opened the scope. Let's do that. So I know that this frame is about 94 frames. So I'm going to go to the previous keyframe here. I'm going to put 94 frames right here. And on the next keyframe, I'm going to allow him to open the sniper. I'm on the next keyframe, right? Yeah. Just about where he shows up properly. I think something like this. 493. That's good. And then we get the cue. And this will be like another in between. Either of these before the next cue. I believe this is the next cue here. So either of these could be an in between. I'm just going to go dead center where he wants to start opening the gun. So I'm going to put it here. And I don't need to adjust the wheel. I'm just going to put this keyframe right there. So I'm going to go to the left. This is where the shot is. So in between here, I believe, and here, you can use any of these frames, basically, because they are all on beat. I'm going to use the dead center as well. I'm going to go into the clip, and I'm going to push this, because this doesn't look very good. I'm going to push this right about here. I think that should look good. Let me take it back a bit. Yeah, I think this should look good. 356. 366 rather. That should look good. And then gets killed, and this place is just a slow-mo. So now we can play it back and see how we have our sync. So I've done the sync, but we haven't done the flow. Okay, now we can see in the playback there is sync.
She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Sync, but there's no flow. To add flow, what we have to do is go to X, and we're going to welcome the spline editor. So in the spline editor, we can modify our graphs, modify the flow of time basically. So click on source time, click on this button right here to view all. and then click on this button to select all. You can press Ctrl A and then press F to smooth out this frame. Now, the kind of graphs we want, let's zoom in on these first two. Let me show you what we need for our graphs. So, we want it to come in really fast, so we hold Ctrl, drag this up, should go up, but this part shouldn't overshoot from where this one is. So we just drag it up to where this one is. And I'm going to bring this part down, hold Ctrl, bring it down about this way. It should be higher than the way this one is. So this part should be higher than this part. It shouldn't be flat, it shouldn't go down unless it's going to look very weird. So we do this about something like this. And it's going to come in, it's going to get slow. The flatter this place is, the slower it is going to get slow, and going to go out fast. And as it's going out fast, it has come back in, which brings the flow that we're looking about. So hold Ctrl, drag this up, just like this. No overshooting. I'll drag this down, something like this. Do the same thing here, and zoom out a bit. Drag this on, and drag this down. Drag this up, drag this down. Drag this up, drag this down. Drag this up, drag this down. Now, keep in mind that this part is the last keyframe, so this part doesn't necessarily have to flow into anywhere, so we can just keep this way. So it's just going to come very fast and then slow down to a minute. So we can play back what this looks like right now, and then we'll make changes to either the frames or the keyframes.
She knows, and I know she knows, and I know she knows.
It's not quite perfect the way we want it to look exactly. So how we're going to do that, we're going to go in and we're going to adjust all the frames. And for us to hear our sound right here in Fusion, all we need to do is Ctrl Spacebar, Media in, Audio, and Purge Audio Cache. That way we can hear our audio directly in Fusion. So now we are going to go from individual frame, or from individual keyframe to the next keyframe, and adjust it the way we want it to look. Now for this, I think I don't want the scope to open by this point in time. I still want it to be closed. So I'm just going to go to this point in time, and I'm going to adjust both these lines, or both key clips, and make sure this part is still, closed up. So I'm going to hold Control, I'm going to drag it down, drag this, make sure it's still here. And drag this one so that it doesn't overshoot. And you can see how flat this line is, but it's not, this part is still lower than this part. Yes, we are good to go. Exactly, that's what we want. I'm going to go to the next. Now, this part, I don't like this slide, so I'm just going to make it more forward than this. So I want it to be like here in this part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this two, put this around here, on the way. I'm going to drag this up. Sorry, hold Control, drag it up. Something like this. Drag this one. Maybe this top of here. this looks much better.
She knows.
Yeah,
She knows.
yeah, that's what we know.
She knows. And
And now this part, I don't want this scope to open up.
I
I
know.
want it to be this part that will be slow motion, not this open. So I'm just going to try and fix that. It should be less sharp. It should come down here. Much better. So
And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
yeah, that's much better.
And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
But this it doesn't enter suddenly enough for me. This doesn't not very fast for me, so I'm able to bring this even more this way.
And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Is that better? Then bring this closer together.
And I know she knows.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And we're going to move on.
And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Also, this part I don't want it to be like this open. I want it to be more conservative. You know what I mean? Move markup. So I'm going to bring it down just like this. Ooh, I take this way. So it must be under this. It will look something like this.
And I know she knows.
Perfect.
And I know she knows.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we've done our flow, we've done our sync, and now let's play it back.
She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Peak, 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 peak. So now I might just turn to Simon. Yo, why is this place so ugly? This part is like really ugly. Oh. I know what to do about this. Alright. I'm just going to bring this frame. This frame. This one is different. Let's try and smooth out these ones. Let's see how that looks. This part, I'm not really a fan. Let me just keep switching till I get something I like. Okay, I'm going to take this part, I'm going to change the time a bit. I'm going to bring it down. So about here. Here.
She knows.
So
And I know she knows.
peak. And now I'm going to go back to the edit page. I'm going to watch it back.
She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Perfect. That's how you get your flow and sync. So now I'm just going to add a few effects on top for the transitions, for the kill effects and stuff like that. So what I want to do, I want to get adjustment layer. Let's go to effects, favorite adjustment kit. I'm going to add it first skill. I'm going to go to the marker where the first skill is. Remember we offset some of the markers, so we have to get precise with this. About here, I'm going to count 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put this in the beginning of that 5 frames. Go back 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to count 15 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. Now you don't have to do it the way I do, but this is how I like to do it. I want to remove this on that one. I'm going to go to exactly where the shot is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to flip and go to fusion. Now I can close up the spline. I'm going to add a lens blow. So this is your choice. What I want to do, lens blow and shakes for the shots, and directional blow and glow for the transitions. Maybe I'll add a bit of glow for the shots, but let's see. Lens blow, camera shake. Camera shake, I want to make sure the edges mirror. You can leave it like this. You can put a keyframe on the overall strength. Go to 0, take it down to 0. Go to 15, take it down to 0. So it starts shaking, reaches the peak, and then soften down. Same thing we're going to do for the lens blow. Lens blow, blow size, just increase the bits. What the highlights, big highlights, bits. So this looks good. I'm going to keyframe this blow right here. I'm going to go to the first frame, take it down to 0. Last frame, take it down to 0 and 1. So now I'm going to go to spline editor. I'm going to go to overall strength, camera, and blow. I'm going to view that. Yes. Now I'm going to control. I'm going to bring this down like this. Bring this down as well. Like this. Bring this down. This. Bring it down as well. Like this. Now I can check it out. I think we need a glow. We need a glow. So I'm just going to go back X, frame 5. I'm going to add directional glow, but I'm not going to use the glow. I'm going to use the glow feature. Going to put around here. Go to keyframe, 0, last frame, 0 as well. You can turn off the camera shake and the lens blow. And do same for the glow. Bring it down. Bring it down as well. So we have something like this. Now we're going to add this to all our shots. And for the transitions in between shots, we're going to do just directional blow. So I'm just going to duplicate here and duplicate this. Like here. Let's get Alt, drag. Let me add another track and put my transitions on this part. Make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use around 3. Come back. X. And now I'm going to remove the camera shape and the lens blow, directional blow. That's what we're working with. You can increase the length, reduce to the max, put a keyframe there, put in the first frame, put it on 0, go to the last frame, put it on 0 again. Let's see if we need to do anything to tell the keyframe. Yeah, we do. So for the keyframe, we need to close the glow. We're going to open this. Select everything, F, and then make it tight. I'm going to make it tighter than the glow itself. Something like this will work. Just check it. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm just going to drag this to the other node where the shot was. The shot was right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing you see. And that one of these is. Maybe this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I know she knows.
So I'm just going to right here, going to duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to repeat that right here. Grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way. Right here. I like your better. Alt, drag 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way. Yep. And that is pretty much it. Let's play back everything.
She knows, and I know she knows, and I know she knows.
I think that looks good.
She knows, and I know she knows, and I know she knows.
Now, what's left is SFX. Of course, you can do SFX by yourself, but I'm just going to spice it up a bit with some SFX. Not necessarily SFX, but just the game sniper sound. So I'm just going to bring another instance of my clip right here. I'm going to look for the gunshots. We're going to move this. See how the background sound over it. Let me zoom in a bit. Right from here. Okay. I'm going to end here. I can remove this, I can remove this. I can only remove the video. This is our sniper sound. And I'm going to remove the voice as well. I'm going to go to music mixer. I'm going to turn down the voice to -100. I'm going to also cut it this way because of the instrument. I'm going to fade it out like this. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to bring it and I'm going to put it all the places where I have my cues. Not just where I have my cues, but it has to match with the audio. So I'm going to unmute this. So right here. Let me increase volume a bit. Let me drag it. Put it there.
And I know you know.
This is like silver paste. Let me align it properly with this.
She knows.
Yeah.
And I know she knows.
Right here. Put the drag.
And I know she knows.
And right here as well. All to drag. Right here. Yeah, that's perfect. So now the whole thing, I'm going to play it back.
She knows. And I know she knows. And I know she knows.
Yeah, so that's how you do your flow and sync. Davinci Resolve. Of course, you can add any effect you want. You can do anything you want. You can apply it anywhere you want. But that's the basics of flow and sync. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. If you need any help with any aspect of Davinci Resolve, you have any questions, you can leave your questions in the comments and I'll attend to it.